Some light moderate turbulence in the Bay Area there for about 162
approach 132.2.
Southwest 1212, Vegas departures, turn left heading.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel The Winged Engineer. I am Chintan and I hope you guys are doing absolutely great and taking care of yourself. Recently I have reached a milestone of 1000 subscribers on YouTube. आपको कुछ सुनाई दे रहा है? अगर आपको कुछ सुनाई दे रहा है तो please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So I would like to thank each and everyone for your love and support. It keeps me motivated to make more interesting videos for you guys. Also make sure to check out my Instagram and feel free to DM me on my Instagram if you have any other questions. I'll try my best to answer them whenever I get time. Today's video is going to be very interesting. It's about mistake a student pilot can make during initial phase of a training. So make sure you watch the video till the end. Let's get started. Mistake number 1 is inadequate preparation for lesson. So this is a mistake that student pilot make even before reaching the airport for flying. So whichever lesson you are scheduled for, like if you are scheduled for lesson which has maneuvers like slow flight, steep turns, emergency procedures, you should study the procedures before the lesson, as in before the flight. So you should remember the procedures thoroughly before the flight so that whenever your instructor teaches you how to perform the maneuver, you will get a great learning experience. So mistake number 2 is poor weather briefing. Especially on cross-country flight, common error is not getting weather briefing for destination and route of flight, including alternate. Even a short cross-country requires standard weather briefing. Now, what is a standard weather briefing? When your proposed time of departure is within 2 hours, a summary of current weather, adverse conditions, en route forecast, destination forecast, and notice to MN, etc. is given by the briefer. FAA has established a universal toll-free telephone number which is 1800 Whiskey X-Ray Bravo Romeo India Echo Foxtrot, which is 1800 WX brief. Mistake number 3, rushing pre-flight inspection. This one is simple and there is no reason ever to compromise safety. So during the initial phase of training, you are enthusiastic to fly the plane. In that case, many students rush to the pre-flight and may leave some item unchecked during the pre-flight. So make sure you check each and everything mentioned on the checklist during the pre-flight. Mistake number 4, poor radio communications. Radio communication is one of the challenging aspects of flying. Initially, you won't be confident while communicating with ATC, but don't let this lead to frustration. Practicing it would make you perfect. There's a website named liveatc.net which gives you access to live ATC communications, which could help you to improve your communication skills. Make sure you always verify that you are on the right frequency and monitor the frequency before transmitting so that you don't cut off anyone else's transmission. One useful tip would be whatever request you would like to give to the tower, make sure you read that once in your mind, then say it to the tower. That will help to minimize the error while communicating. Mistake number 5, not enough rudder usage. So during the initial stage of training, when you are new to flying an aircraft, during takeoff on full power, you must have heard your instructor saying more right rudder more than one. There are 4 reasons why you would move to the left while on full power on takeoff. We call them left turning tendencies: torque, P factor, gyroscopic precision, and spiraling slipstream. All of these forces are trying to make your aircraft move to the left. To counter them, we need more right rudder. Mistake number 6, staring inside the cockpit. During the initial phase of training, students tend to get fixated on maintaining their heading and altitude with the use of instruments inside the cockpit. The use of instrument is mainly during IFR training. It should be used as a secondary source for situational awareness when flying with visual flight rule. Mistake number 7, not using checklist. Checklist usage is an important part of flying. So during the initial phase of training, students tend to follow the engine startup checklist, taxi checklist, lineup checklist, climb checklist. But after that, they forget to use the checklist. So the instructor have to remind them to use the checklist, but that's only in the initial phase. So after that it becomes a habit to use checklist during the flight. So make sure you don't rush through the checklist item and check each and everything that is mentioned in the checklist. Mistake number 8. Over-controlling the aircraft. When you learn to drive the car, you drive it with both hands. When you try to fly the plane with both hands, you over-control it. Over-controlling happens when you move the yoke little too much. This causes you to correct your own movements instead of reacting to external changes. Like when flying an airplane requires more delicate touch. If you feel that the aircraft is all over the place, try to relax your grip, use small controlled movements and let the plane fly on its own. You are most likely to over-control the plane during takeoff and landing. Mistake number 9. Overshooting final. The turn from base to final can be tricky for a student pilot. Several things are happening. You are reducing the power, controlling your descent rate, putting in flaps, maintaining the airspeed, correcting for the wind, checking traffic. All this happens very quickly and can cause a student to make the critical turn from base to final a bit late and overshooting the final. Mistake number 10. Flaring too much or too little. A common mistake for student pilot during initial phases of training is by flaring too early or too late, resulting in a hard landing or a flat landing for the first few times. So when flying the Cessna 172, you generally flare a bit more in comparison to DA-42, which is pretty easy to land. In DA-42, once over the runway, we level off and transition into ground effect and then throttle to idle and let the plane land by flaring a bit to protect the nose gear, and it results in a smooth landing. Every time flaring and getting a perfect landing is the most rewarding and satisfying part of flying. So that's all for today. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe, and if you have any other suggestion, please mention in the comment section. See you later. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself.